Hi, welcome back to 1/6 RC Tank Workshop. I'm John. Big thanks to everybody who's tuned into the videos. I hope you enjoyed them. Please remember to hit that subscribe button. In a previous video I showed you how I was very busy making parts for other people's tanks, but now back to my own. I'll go through some of the progress I've made over the last couple of weeks. First of all, the modifications to the cupola. This is an Armortek Early Tiger cupola. The main cupola is not too bad, but this is one of the early models of the Armortek cupola. And this piece is just a plain ring. It should have a ridge here, but it doesn't have it. I was planning on buying the part from Armortek, but I decided I had some metal. I decided to make my own. It's probably a mistake. It was quite a bit of work involved. So I'll just show you now the completed cupola. So here's my completed cupola. I've made the new ring. This took quite a bit of effort on my small lathe and milling machine, but I'm quite happy with the finish. I'm using small head M3 screws to hold it down. These pieces here would hold a type of umbrella fitting for the commander. I've added the locking mechanism. Minor adjustments to the Armortek fittings, but not much. I might do more. And these fittings for holding the lid in the open position, both here and here at the front. These are made in brass. So let's have a look at it in the open position. Here you can see the viewports that I make for the Early Tiger. And here's the lid for the Early Tiger. This I presume is a keyhole for locking the lid. And we have working latches for opening and closing. This piece, I didn't have a piece of rubber, so for now I've just used a piece of aluminium. I'll probably replace this at a later stage. The hatch itself is the original Armortek part, which didn't have any texture on the inside, but I've milled out the required shape and fitted the latches. Again, looking at the top of the hatch, these are the fittings where the keyhole is, and these would hold the locking catches on the inside. The 3 screws here would have been welded in place on the original, and they hold the head pad. Another small adjustment to the cupola is the inclusion of the drain holes along the cupola. So the next stage will be to paint this in Dunkelgelb. Here's the view from the other side. You can see I need to fill these screw holes. I'll also add a weld mark all around the cupola. Next, The plan is to make this Tiger a Befehlswagen, that's a command vehicle, which had extra antennas. So there was an extra antenna, a 2-meter antenna, fitted to the roof of the turret. And here you can see how the 2-meter antenna mounts to the base. It's also removable. These could have been kept in tubes on the vehicle. Here you can see I've made the turret air vent. It's using the base from the original Armortek part. The top is just a spare piece of metal I have, and its top is mounted on standoffs. I will add some detail to the interior of the vent as well at a later stage. It sits slightly proud of the turret roof. The air vent had a waterproof cover, which I won't be fitting, but it attached with clips just underneath. The waterproof cover was used for submersion, but I'd rather just leave it as it is. There should be 3 very small drain holes in the base also. I'll put them in later. Here you can see another antenna base. This would have been for the star antenna on the Panzer Befehlswagen. One of the tubes fits along here, so I'll have to make that as well. I've now added the catches for the rear hatches. They'll need to be painted up as well. I've just sprayed over some etch primer. And next we'll have a look at the pistol port beside the commander. The pistol port supplied with the kit is just a solid piece, so I've made some amendments to that. Here we have my new pistol port. I've milled out the interior of it. And to add some function, I've made this filler. This will be the internal view. So now there is some function to it. It has an open and close position. I've made some holes here where I'll fit a screw on either side, and that will engage with this slot so that the internal section can pivot. I've made these cone head tops, which are mounted onto M3 screws, and they'll be held in place with castellated nuts. And now you have the viewport in the open position. Now closed. Here it is from inside the turret in the closed position. You can see it's held in place with castellated nuts. And next we'll add some weld detail using milliput. Here you can see how I've gone all around the turret cupola. This will go off overnight and can then be painted. So here you can see I've painted up the mudguards. Got more Dunkelgelb paint. Everything's matching. And the cupola is now painted as well. So that's all for this episode. Some progress with the turret at last. Still quite a bit of work to do on the Tiger. I'm not sure whether this particular tank had a loader's periscope, but I might fit one anyway. I still need to fit a fire extinguisher. I also need to fit tarp tie downs. Being a Panzer it shouldn't have this S-mine launcher in this position. There should be an antenna for a 1.4 meter mast, so I'll need to get another antenna mount. I also need to make the antenna tubes. I need one for along the side, on the right hand side. The Panzer also had a tube on the rear for holding masts. I've made my tiny indicator for the back of the tank. I'll also need to make a convoy light, but I need to fit a lens to this. Then I'll have to do some work on the muzzle brake, and finally the FIFO air filters. That's one I'm not looking forward to. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. If so, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. More coming soon. Also coming soon, some boxes from Armortek. Box openings will be a rarity on this channel, as most of my kits I buy used. But I may open this box. Or should I say, these boxes. Another item coming soon. This is one of the new brushless motion packs. I'll be fitting this into one of the tanks.